hate collars. I'm a
She get a chair. That would be helpful.
Hey, Mom.
Yeah.
Let's get that chair.
Okay. A little harder to sit on the other side of here, but we'll make it work. Okay. Ouch.
So
We have a couple of people watching. We're making puppy collars, so
Yeah.
we figured we'd go live and try and
make the collars.
yeah, make the collars. That's the first goal. But answer questions. Talk about what people want to talk about. I don't know. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk. Put your comments in the comment section.
Anybody?
Bueller.
Bueller.
I only got different collars.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do it.
There you go. Now you can see all your collars, Aiden. Okay.
We're going to make some puppy collars.
We are making puppy collars.
Yeah.
We make these ourselves.
Even I
With
did.
the breakaways. This is a different type of breakaway. It's a little tougher. I don't think we're going to use these anymore because it's really hard to get these undone. And we thought we had more of these around here, but apparently we've run out. So we're going to have to do some collars without breakaways. The Corsos have outgrown their collars. These are pretty easy to make. We're not geniuses. We watched other YouTube tutorials on how to make paracord. It's the same thing as making a paracord bracelet. What are you doing, Aiden?
I'm moving those things so they can see.
Oh, that you want to show them all your colors?
Yeah. So they can see.
What?
Wrinkles.
Oh, what got us into breeding? Well, story starts a long time ago.
Once upon a time in a village far, far away.
My ex had a friend that at the time I was in horses and I was breeding sport horses. So the breeding kind of, we were already doing that just with something else. But the way we got into Corso is my ex's friend had gotten a puppy and saw the puppy when he got it, and it was adorable. Knew nothing about the breed. And a couple of years later, he knew that we had a farm. So we get this random call that he had to get rid of the dog. And he lived in a very small, like little postage stamp of a yard on a lake. And had left the screen door open while he was away. He was a contractor. He was away working for the whole day and came home. And his dog, who was a stud dog, had broken out of the screen door, went down. What does Dora have? Went down the road or down, the lakeside and broke into somebody else's house through their screen door. And for lack of better terms, proceeded to tear up their house and breed their poodle. So they came home and there was a bunch of damage to their house. And obviously him being a contractor worked out well because he could fix the damage. But he just realized that having a Corso with his schedule, with always being gone like that he just didn't have enough time for him and they were getting in trouble. So he had just had a litter of puppies as well. So he had a female and a litter of puppies there. And he said, can you please just come get Sonny was his name. Can you please just come get Sonny? So we went down there and we picked up Sonny and Sonny became a farmer. And it was a couple of weeks later, he said, I just can't handle all this. So could you come and get Franny, which was the mom, and he had one puppy left. So we went down there and got him, and that was our first introduction into Cane Corso. And it all started from there. Those were American bred dogs. Didn't know anything American versus import. But once we finally learned, we did have a litter with them, one litter, and they were actually very nice puppies, especially compared to, I look back and I think, well, you know, they weren't the greatest, but compared to what some people are breeding, it was really a good start. Not necessarily where we wanted to be permanently. That may be a Corso collar, not a mouth collar. So what we did was, as we got into researching more about the breed and learning more, had actually bought some other dogs, went looking, and we actually bought one that was the top puppy in the country, and another stud dog, and all American stuff again, and realized that those were really good dogs, but again, not really quite the level at what we wanted to be producing. So, because I'm very competitive, and if I go and I show something, I want to, I mean, why do we do that? We want to win. We don't want to go lose, right? It's not fun to lose. Tell everybody that. I'm sorry, Aiden, you were supposed to be picking out colors. What color's next? So I just went in search of what I felt like after researching the Corso should be. And where I found it was in Europe. And that's how we got into importing dogs. And just said, don't care where we get these dogs, but we want them to be what we think are the best that we can find. So then our journey of importing began. It's all history from there. That is how we got into breeding, is a friend of my ex's who had issues with his Corso not having enough exercise. I guess we could learn from that, right? That they are fine in a small yard as long as you have the time for them, which is what he didn't have. Time for him. What else we got? There's only, what, 3 people on? I guess we probably need to share the video so that other people know that we're even doing this. And get on here and talk. Find out what type of videos do you want. We're trying to put together a video on. You hear Cat and Louie in the background playing. It's raining outside today, so the puppies are in. Yeah, they're stuck inside. Tennessee, we've been having rain a lot lately. In fact, right now we're waiting on an insurance adjuster to come out because we had damage again from storms. This is our 2nd time with a plane this year.
Mom.
But the puppies don't get to go outside much when it's raining, so they get a little stir crazy. But they have each other to play with and lots of toys. And they do go outside, and sometimes they don't care that they're playing in the rain. It's just us. We don't want to put them out in their pens where they get all muddy. This one's big. This will be a Corso one, I believe. That's going to be too big for a mouth. But it'll fit a Corso. That's the beauty. We are making 16 collars for 12 Malinois puppies and 4 Corso puppies.
I only need 1 for me.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, then maybe we don't have to make as many. I'm going to try and go find this link and share it so we can have a little more interaction and we can find out what kind of questions everybody has.
Oh, we got 2 thumbs up and 2 people watching.
What?
We had more people than I watched.
I know. I guess we're boring.
They don't care where you started breeding.
You're gonna mess up my life. He put so much pieces on the counter.
Oh, I'm sorry. Where should I put them?
Oh my gosh.
Don't worry.
The dam that broke
Robot
must have been from my aunt and uncle's old lake, the one we used to live on. There's a dam, I don't know if everybody knows, but there's a dam that broke in Michigan, and my aunt and uncle just sold their house on that lake. Yeah, I don't know if you can you see that? That's, where's the camera at? That's the dock into the lake off of, yeah, the lake is gone. That's sad for people who,
Knowing that isolation and potential new owners that wanted to check out your Corsos.
wow,
How are you handling that?
look at that, guys. That boat used to be in the water. That's insane. Wow. Hashtag prayers for Michigan. There's a lot of people who lost their entire homes. It's bad. I don't know exactly what happened. I should know. We have family up there, so that's where I'm from. But yeah, so there's that. But I was going on here to share this so that find this. We can get a few more people watching and answer more questions. What was that question you said that's on there?
Says, how are you handling the isolation and new potential owners that want to check out your Cane Corso?
Oh, so we are not allowing people. Oh, I'm not trying to share a video. Let's not do that. We are not allowing people here at this time, just because of everything that's going on. We don't normally let people come visit while we have puppies under 6 weeks old, and we do. So the Corsos are 7 weeks this week. The males are 6, right? But we have a litter of Corsos that are they just today turned 3 weeks old. So we don't normally let people come if we have puppies under 6 weeks old that are unvaccinated anyways. So what we did with our last litter when they went home, I really kind of hated it. It was, how long ago was that? It was kind of right when all the restrictions were getting put in place and they were kind of doing travel restrictions within certain states. So we went and actually met people at the church that's kind of at the end of our road. And I hated doing that. But we took Fig, which was the father of that litter, and they got to meet him. We did everything we could to, we sanitized everything before we took it to them, and we asked that they bring sanitizer because they're filling out paperwork. We just were trying to be as careful as we possibly could. The quarantine hasn't really affected our life because we really don't have much of a life. It's kind of sad, but we're cool with it. We can do everything that we have to do here. The only difference is, when we go out shopping, things like that, we have to put the protocols that everybody else is using. But other than that, our lives really haven't slowed down even. I see everybody posting that they're so bored during the quarantine. And, wow, bored sounds kind of like a vacation. But
Bored sounds fun.
Right? Bored sounds like less work. But so the other thing that we're trying to do is, and we should probably do a video on it, is socialization for the puppies during this time. It's not so much socialization. You don't have to take them everywhere and let everyone. Sorry, let me get this done, and then I can have one thought instead of my brain multitasking a lot. But there we go. So you don't really have to take the dogs everywhere and let everybody touch them and all that stuff. They just really need to see things. And, I was talking with one of our other families who has a YouTube channel last night, and they take their puppy, even when they do take out through drive-through, they take their puppy so that the puppy can, see through the drive-through, and they're hearing people, and not necessarily that those people have to be touching their puppy, but you can take them out and you can sit at the park. You don't have to allow people to pet your dog. They don't have to have that. They just really need to take in all the sights and sounds and everything like that so that they're familiar. Now, what you want to watch for is if the dog is fixating on something. If you're at a park and kids are playing and the puppy is really, starting to zone in and fixate on that. You want to stop that behavior. You don't want to teach them to act that way. So you're going to redirect them and go, do something fun, have them do a couple sits, play with the ball, play with the tug, whatever is your thing. But you don't want to teach them to sit and just kind of amp up into a certain situation. You want them to know that they redirect to you and that you can control that energy. Yeah?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to tell a knot. I'm not trying to ignore you.
We have 4 whole collars made. This is a time-consuming process, so we were like, hey, let's turn the camera on and see, because I just talk regardless, so he gets sick of hearing me talk. We'll wait until you guys are all bored, but the viewers are going down. No, they're going up.
They're going up. We got 8. We just got another one.
Right? So anyways, we're thinking about doing a video on, we've got a couple that we're working on. I've seen some really bad information on YouTube, guys. Like some of these channels are, beware, okay? And I hate talking bad about people, but man, there is one channel that is a really big channel, and that girl has not been in the breed long. She has terrible advice, and if I see any of our puppy people doing what she does to her dogs, I'm not going to be a different person. I'm not going to be very happy. She's taking her dogs and putting them down on the ground and holding them down on the ground and dominating them, and that's just not. It's not good under any circumstances. We don't want to do that with a Corso ever. So watch that channel. Just a lot of behavioral things and pack order and pack structure, and has missing dogs and is raising money for dogs that are missing or hurt that aren't really hurt. I don't know. It's kind of, I don't know exactly. I only know the little brief things that we read and what people tell us. So just beware. If you got questions, just ask. I'm not going to say we have all the answers, but if we don't have the answer, I'll go find a good answer for you instead of watching somebody who has potentially bad mentorship. I don't really know what the case is, but avoid that. Let's just not do that. Not our puppy people. You want to form your own opinions. If you got one of our dogs, just please don't. Just don't. Let's see what this says. Danielle Breck said, what? This is crazy. Yeah, I hear, did this guy just come in the driveway? Like, did he really just open the gate and come on in? I hear a truck in the driveway. We have, for those of you who have been here, there are signs. We're at the end of a private road, and there's signs all over the gate, right? Do not enter. There's a notice for law enforcement. If you need to enter the property, you need to call animal control, and all of our phone numbers are on there, which is a really cool signs. I need to get more of them made and include them in our puppy pack. The guy who used to make them for us quit making them. But yeah, I hear some of these people. Oh my gosh. Would you ever pull up to somebody's house and open their gate and just go in? I would never do that. Not out here in the country. You're likely to get shot. And these people are from around here. So, I don't know. Can I say that? No. It's private property for a reason. Yeah. So there's that.
Is he just going to do his own thing?
I'm not sure. One of us should probably go out there, and I'm not real keen that, he goes around and he's talking to a bunch of different people, and I don't know what he's got. I don't know what the people he's around have. He's not allowed to come in the house. We've already set those boundaries. There's nothing that is being claimed within the house. So I'm trying to not have a lot of contact with him. But such as with insurance companies, right? So I'll run out there quick, I guess, and go see what he needs. I'm gonna leave you to Eric for a few minutes.
Yay, and I'm real talkative.
He's not the talkative type, but I'll make up for it when I get back.
Yes, she never stops.
Yeah. Do you want to talk to YouTube for a while? No? Okay, come on up this front door. Okay. Come on, babe.
Raw bones. Any bones that are raw. No cooked at all whatsoever. They splinter and they're bad. But raw bones, even chicken bones. Food we feed Purina Grow Plan Carcass Puppy. I believe is what we're currently on. Oh my goodness. Somebody's here. Oh, the dogs must bark. Here, she's coming back now.
Yeah, only for a second, because I gotta tell you this. He won't even talk to me with Big out in the yard. He said he won't get out of his truck until I put him away. How does he feel about pistols?
Yes, Amber. That is the individual that was being Anybody want a sticker? If you do, follow us on Instagram and DM her on Instagram with your address, and we will get a sticker out to you. We'll get you one of these. And a Bad Bunny Python sticker. So if you're interested in the sticker, let us know. We'll get it out to you. I don't need to talk to them. Believe it or not, I have not watched not one of her videos. I hear about her all the time. I'm not paying her bills. She got that YouTube channel, and I think she's ghetto fat. She just taking that money and taking trips and buying imports all on YouTube money because people want to watch her and think she knows what she's talking about. Is she even a breeder? Or is she just somebody that's pretending? Exactly. She's all about the money. Her content, from what I hear, like I said, I've never watched it. Her channel at all, not even one video. What I hear, her content's pretty much garbage, but yet people that don't know still watching. And YouTube's giving her that money because people are watching. Yes, Kat, I hear you. Oh yes. Who's next? I wish your followers would come over here, get some real information. We do all types of training, anything from luring with food to pinch collars to e-collars. Just depends on the dog, the situation, and what we want to do.
We're shutting that door because when that man comes and barks on it, Dora and Fig are
Barks on
likely
it, he's going to bark on the door.
if the guy knocks on the door, Dora and Fig will go through it.
You said when he barks on the door.
Yeah, knocking, barking, whatever.
Hey,
Pretty nice guy.
what color is this? Hey, Dad!
What?
You mess up all my colors.
I didn't mess up all your colors.
Look, you did.
I did not.
I know tree messed up. That's always the perfect day to make colors.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh.
And you messed it up.
I'm sorry.
Now it's wetter.
Now it's better?
Yeah. What is all this? This all stuff.
That's all the excess that got trimmed off.
Hi, YouTube. Next, see packing.
No, we're doing it on Mommy's channel. It's worldwide. Cane Corsos.
All right, come on out here, guys. Go, go, go.
Oh, you gonna show them the fat appendix sticker?
Because want them to stop having honey.
Hopefully he doesn't take very long because these puppies need to go out and go potty soon. We got a lot of comments. Are you watching them at all?
Yeah, they're talking to each other.
Oh, cool. See, look how fun this is. It's a collar making party.
Yeah, look at the sack. Look at the sack of the collar.
So that guy he's pretty nice. And I really can't blame him if I showed up to somebody's house and I didn't know this breed, even if I knew the breed. I'd be like, yeah, if you're not going to be out here with me, you go ahead and put him up.
Great. Please.
Please, thank you. He saw the puppies outside. I said, excuse the poop because they eat 4 times a day. There are 16 of them, and there's one pile of
And then please don't do that.
poop for every time they eat. What is that? 16 times 4.
A lot.
A lot, right? There's the answer. A lot.
Need that.
Why don't you put that on your phone?
Yes, we have a brindle Cane Corso.
It's Dora. Where's Dora? Come here, Dora. Come here, Dora. Can you see? Come here, Dora. Come here. Come up here by mommy.
See, she's brindle.
Can you see her? Probably can't see her very well, but she is brindle.
Yeah.
This is Dora.
Good.
Dora is, hey, sassy. Dora is actually in heat, and she is going to be bred to Figaro whenever she's ready. Cat, and that is Katarina from our K litter, and she needs outside, so she's sassing me. But it's not the right time right this moment. Okay, you're going to have to hold it for just a little bit.
Yeah, cat. Hello. Hello, cat.
The babies are really good about asking to go outside.
You got a 7-month-old Corso. Does coat color really matter? No. Not 7-year, not 7-month.
Here, find your YouTube so you can pull it up on here. You don't have to find it. We worked this out not too long ago. We shouldn't have to go that bad. Okay. Got something to drink. Aiden's got his shark cereal. Did you know they have baby shark cereal? They have baby shark cereal.
And it's not even sharks, it's Fruit Loops with little bitty white marshmallows.
Right? They could have at least made them shark shaped.
Shark shaped, shark
Say that 10 times fast. Shark shaped. Shark
shaped cereal.
Shark shaped. Wow. Shark shaped cereal.
Maybe like the shark shaped cereal.
I'm sorry, guys. We've had not a ton of sleep. Too much to do.
Well, on sleep for the last 3 months of the 3-year-old. So
3 months? You mean years? You've only been here for about 3 months, huh?
constantly, 24 hours a day, without reprieve.
We don't ever have reprieve. He will be 4 next week. Yeah.
Next, looks like Tuesday.
Yeah, he will be 4 on the 26th. Happy early birthday, Aiden! And
Not quite the birth week yet.
it's not your birth week. We have never, in going on 4 years, left him alone with anyone else. Parenting, right there. So yeah, sometimes we get a little stressed out because he's a 3-year-old, and he does what 3-year-olds do.
We're making colored collars. Wow, are we coming up to some shark-shaped cereal? Color-coded collars for the Cane Corso puppies.
Right?
Wow.
I gotta say sugar.
She shows by the she-show on the she-shade.
Sugar.
Sugar. Aiden says sugar.
No, sugar.
Sharker?
Yeah.
Sucker.
Sucker?
Starker.
Shocker.
Shocker. Oh, because mom says that all the time when things are really obvious. I'm like, so this happened, and shocker, this was the result. Yeah. You check the comments. Are we just yakking and people are asking
We're just
questions and
yakking.
we're not talking to them?
No, he asked what we were making, and I said,
We are making puppy collars.
does Aiden have a favorite pet?
What's your favorite animal, Aiden?
Is it the dogs? Is it Barney? Is it Turd Bird? Is it the snakes?
It is the one.
We don't.
The lions?
We have a lion.
All right.
Newsflash. We have a
Old
lion.
Cane Corso has lions.
Right? We're
Press off the
gonna
press.
get into the Tiger King
Lion!
thing.
Book is the lion today.
Book the
So-
lion.
For who was asking, we're making these collars for the puppies so that they have their identification because they outgrew their little ID band things that have Velcro on them. These are terrible. Don't buy this kind if you have to make these.
I'm over here burning my fingers. Don't mind me.
Terrible for breakaway. So you gotta work them out a little bit because
You gotta walk it out. Walk it out.
check it out. After you do them a few times, they work a little better. But man, they're tight. Like a puppy would never break that.
Understanding you in what program part of the country, what if anything, is it better? Huh?
We talked a little
There
bit.
isn't a benefit to a local breeder because you can go see them and pick them out in person instead of through pictures or internet stuff.
I always ask what's the benefit of a
Really,
local.
really, but I'm not.
Yeah, local breeder, you can go visit them and pick your puppy out in person. And we have some people locally, what happens is, so we have a waiting list, right? And the puppies, between 6 and 7 weeks, we take in individual pictures or videos. And at that time is when, with our guidance, people are choosing their puppies. So if there's some that we don't feel like are a fit, we'll just say, you know, these are the ones that we feel like will fit for your family. And you can choose between them. So we don't let people just pick their puppy randomly. We help to give them guidance with that, so that we feel like they get the right puppy for what they're looking for and what their family lifestyle is. But for some of the local people who want to come, they don't end up able to do that because there's a whole bunch of people waiting. So say the deposits and the pick order is depicted by when the deposits come in. So say your fourth pick. Well, the 3 people have already chosen, and it usually goes pretty quick once people had a chance to look at the pictures and things like that. So where'd the scissors go? You got them over there? So say your fourth pick, whatever I said, I don't know. And 3 people have already chosen, and they've done that within the last hour, and you've got 3 more people that are waiting. I can't make those people wait an entire day or 2 days until you get a day off of work and you can come pick. So a lot of people who are even local don't end up coming and choosing their puppy in person. It's mostly done through photos and videos, but we do a lot of videos. So people try and get on there and watch them and see the puppies, both before and after picks. We do that. So it is nice to be able to go visit locally.
Really?
Yes, he has a very loud microphone. And we do have people though who come that are local, and they'll come when we don't have puppies just to see the adult dogs. And that's good that they get to meet them and they can ask questions and actually, get up close and personal with a Corso if they've never met one before. Aiden, what are you looking for?
Marshmallow.
Okay, let me see this. Let me see the bag. Let me see the bag for a minute.
Why?
I'm gonna dump them in a bowl because this bag is super loud.
All of those in a bowl. All of them.
There's not a lot of marshmallows in there.
Why?
Well, because the marshmallows are not the main part of the cereal. What's the waiting list time? If she wants, oh, she's planning now. Okay. We have 29 to 30 people on the waiting list right now. 13 of those will be fulfilled with the current puppies that we have. So I don't like to, if you've watched our channel at all, listen to me talk a lot. I really am kind of a open book. I try and be very transparent. Now the babies are playing. You can hear them because they didn't get to go outside. Louie, quit. Now Cat's gonna probably start barking at me again. Can't win. They're just like kids. But I don't even remember what I was talking about. Oh, the waiting list. Yeah. So I don't like to disappoint people. Pebbles was supposed to come in heat already, and she has not. And it's not uncommon for them. Those are getting big. We need to make those smaller. That's pretty big. That's as small as it gets, and that's pretty big even for a Corso puppy. So I'm going to make this a little smaller by taking the knot apart now that I tightened it with pliers. We'll see how good my skills are here. But the reservations that we're taking now, and people always say, you know, am I better off, you know, placing a deposit now or waiting? And we have our deposit only at $250 because I know that we are kind of the lowest in the industry. And the reason for that is just because I think that $250 is enough to show me that you're committed to the puppy, but it's not too much that it's putting a strain on you. And it's not, I don't like to hold other people's money. I just don't. So I think, like I said, that's enough to show me that you're committed. And for a reservation, it's fine. So I always say, I don't ever want to pressure anyone into placing a deposit, but the reality is that that list keeps growing. So I've had people sometimes get a hold of me and they're upset because they've said, you know, I say, I don't have puppies right now and I have a list. And they say, okay, well, I'll get a hold of you. And then we have another litter and they get a hold of us and we don't have any because they're all reserved. And they say, well, you said, Aiden, don't eat like that. Sorry, I didn't notice that was going on. You guys are probably over there laughing because I'm staring at this and not him. Do not do that. That's not how we eat. And YouTube is watching you. Shove your face in the bowl of cereal. If you didn't know, he's 3, I'm 4. Now you have proof. But anyways, people will get upset with me because they'll say, you know, well, you told me to call back and now you don't have any puppies still. And that does happen. And so I just tell everyone, if you want on the list, the best thing is, you know, if you've chosen us, we are your breeder. The best thing is to just get on the list. What are you putting in there? Don't put the collars in there. No, for sure not. Yeah, so our waiting list right now, accepting reservations for people who understand that it could be fall, winter, and even we're almost into June now, so being halfway through the year, it could also be into the early part of next year. So I just try and be as upfront and honest as people as I can so that they're not disappointed in their wait time. Now, you know, in an ideal world, you know, we're able to get those people puppies much earlier than what they're anticipating. But like I said, trying not to disappoint people. We're currently running fall, winter, potentially into next year. I had to make this one smaller because it was even going to be too big for the Corso puppies. That off already. I don't know, but he just had his face shoved in the bowl of cereal. I said everybody was probably laughing at him because I didn't even notice that I'm over here finding knots.
Yes, we do.
What's that?
We ship puppies. Why am I looking all over there?
Yeah, we cannot fly them anymore domestically. They can fly international, but they can't fly domestically due to airline restrictions. But we do have a good resource for ground transportation. And air nanny service as well, where they fly in cabin with an air nanny. Not the cheapest method, but that way they're there. We also have some people who works out really well. They fly in and then fly home with their puppies. That one's for you.
Time for me. That one.
So the videos we're trying to find the time to put together. Red flags for people looking. What are your red flags that should pop up? You know, if you're asking a breeder questions. So we're thinking about doing that one.
Yay.
I would really like to get a bunch of products together and do a puppy preparedness video. Like, what kind of supplies should you have for your puppy? And then once we put that puppy pack away, maybe we can do a contest and a giveaway and give that puppy pack away to one of our puppy families, just so that we have some recommendations for people and they can actually see the product.
Wait till about 6 months once you're on the list. Question.
Right now, so with 30 people waiting, 13 of those will be fulfilled. So we will have some that will obviously carry over once this litter is gone. But say, you know, Dora's bred now. This is the end of May. Should be bred by the end of May. So we're looking at 60 days, end of July, when she has her puppies. And those will go home 60 days after they're born at 8 weeks, which would be end of September, right? You'll get to hear firsthand how loud these dogs get when somebody's outside. Let's see how big that is.
Perfect, right?
Hang on. I'm going to go get a puppy and see.
Can I come?
Uh-oh, she's going to get a puppy. I guess I won't singe that one down then yet. Huh?
Yeah.
The way it's looking, yes, between 6 months, 6 to 12 months. Yes, our dogs work. Most of them, anyway.
Are you talking?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Doing both.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the big male. Well, he's the only boy, right?
Yeah.
He's huge, guys.
Your nails need done already.
Yeah, they do.
I just barely
Especially
touched
when
him.
he digs them in the
He's a little nervous.
nervous.
What?
Life with a 3-year-old who can't stop touching everything.
Ian,
What?
sit back, please.
What's this thing?
Cat, hush. So, a little bit big. And this is our biggest puppy. So whatever size this is, they're slightly smaller. Come here, bub. I gotcha. Do you want me to? Well, I don't want the dogs to have that cereal. There he is. Look at this big guy. He's huge. Look at him. Show him that foot. Look at that foot. That's his foot in my hand. And he's 7 weeks old. They go next week for ear props. Isn't that crazy? The foot. Look at the foot.
The puppy.
This is what he will look like once his ears are done. Oops, hold on. He's gonna lay down. There we go. Look how cute he is. He's so cute.
He looks like a lion.
We haven't done IPO with any of our dogs. Eric's done a little bit of stuff. Cat with the Malinois, but we have not done IPO with our dogs. We have a couple of families who have done IPO with their dogs that they've gotten from us. We do personal protection rather than IPO. I am not a pattern person. I cannot stand pattern training. It creates anticipation, and coming from horses, I don't like. I just don't like pattern training. I don't think it prepares dogs for real life scenarios. So I prefer personal protection to IPO.
Y'all two stop. You're moody because you're. Sorry, I'm trying to find some information for somebody inquiring on the Malinois puppies. I'm not trying to ignore everybody. Yes, we sell them to military families, and most of ours actually being this close to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, in Clarksville, Tennessee. A lot of people that we get, we get a lot of military business, military and police both.
You type in responses instead of answering?
No, I'm trying to respond to the guy that just called on the phone.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna pull this up here. So, do you still Corsos to military families? Yeah, we do, actually. Excuse me, Aiden. Go on the other side in your chair. I would say at least 60%, would you say? 60% of our puppies go to military?
I answered that question.
Yeah.
A majority of our stuff either military or law enforcement.
Yeah, we do a lot of both. And for that reason, for deployment, a lot of people want them while they're deployed for their families. And yes, we try to maintain what a Corso is supposed to be. No, hey, no, You have tons of cereal in your bowl. If you want cereal, go over there in your chair. We try to maintain what a Corso is supposed to be. So you'll hear a lot of breeders say, oh, they're great with kids and they're great with dogs and they're just great. Why? Because they're just trying to sell you a dog, right? But the reality is they aren't always. So we try to maintain the temperament that a Corso is supposed to have, which is a naturally aloof dog who is also a instinctively natural. What am I trying to say? Based on natural instincts, they are guardians. So oftentimes, Uno is not here anymore. Uno is in his fantastic retirement home down in Florida. But we used to call, and Bugatti is the one you're hearing barking now. He's 10 now, becoming 10. And he's Uno's sire. And the two of them, we call them our second interview for people who come here. So we'll just let them out. And those dogs are extremely intuitive. You don't have to say anything. Most people, they just calm right down, they lean into them and they want pet. But there have been a couple of people that the dogs will circle them and they back up and they just start bark. And we listen to that. Our dogs are very, very intuitive, and they probably a lot more so than us, right? But yeah, so there is a courage test that they do over in Europe. And when they're available here, it's called a CAL test. And there's 3 levels. Don't put that in your cereal. There's 3 levels of the testing. So the first level, they have to meet a friendly stranger and then go out probably at least 100 feet. And there's a blind set up, which is a blind is basically a little hide. So somebody comes out from behind the hide. And is in a protection suit, and they're agitating the dog, and that dog has to, after accepting a friendly stranger, you have to walk up there and the dog has to step in front of you and show that it's going to try to deter that person. And that would be a Cal 1. A Cal 2, you take the dog out there, but the dog actually has to bite the equipment or the person. And then the Cal 3 is off lead, and we did that with one of our foundation dogs, where they meet a friendly stranger. I leave the dog there at the place where they met the friendly stranger with someone else. And then I walk in, the person acts as though they are attacking me, and I call in the dog for a full-on bite. And then the dog is also called out. And I wish we had that on video, but nobody got it on video. We have, I think, a couple pictures of it. But other than that, we were more focused on, because we tested quite a few dogs that day. Like I said, the tests are limited. So, yeah, they did really good though, and they all passed. Bugatti's got his Cal 2, and that was no training. Bugatti's not really had any protection training though. The one who passed the Cal 3, he was a personal protection trained dog. Stiletto also passed her Cal 3, and she was trained in personal protection. But it's really cool to see the dogs work like that. But so they do a lot of testing like that in Italy, as well as other parts of Europe. And it kind of validates the Corso. So over there, they're really looking for. They're not looking so much as Americans are to produce pets. They really want the true Cane Corso, and they're not worried about just the puppy sales factor of it. So we really like that. As far as maintaining the correct temperament that a Corso is supposed to be. And doesn't mean that we are careful, the families that we place our puppies in, it does. And it also means that we have to be here if our families have issues, training, anything. Your breeder should always have the education to help you. And I'm not, like I said, I always say it, we don't know everything, but if we don't know, we'll send you to somebody else who we think can help you. There are many great trainers on YouTube, so we can send them that way. There's Aiden.
Just making.
That didn't work.
Hey, do something. Don't make me shut this live off and deal with you, boy. I'll do it. Take you out buying old wood shit.
Right?
That was a joke. I'm not going to beat him. Don't call the police. Little whiny, snipply ass people.
Aiden wouldn't know what to do if he went to the woodshed. He'd think it was a.
He'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna build something."
Right?
Wood shed.
We don't even have a woodshed.
I know.
We have a wood pile that the dogs take apart all the time. You want a good free toy? Sticks. Sticks. They love sticks.
Somebody said they're in Texas. The person asked about the military.
We sell quite
Would
a
you
few.
leave my phone alone, please?
Texas. There's actually
I'm really going to take you out to the woodshed.
I think the most recent one was a border agent that lives in Texas. You burned yourself. Oh man, look at that! Look at that! Show them.
That was the same spot. No, that's just like, ow! I got this one too.
Keeps burning.
Don't mind me. Just burning myself over here. You got cutters and I'm a burner, I guess. Oh Jesus!
The babies are playing. Oh my gosh. The guy must be in the back of the house because Boog is barking at him. Yeah, so our advice, be careful what channels you watch. There's another good channel. Michelle Brazil has a good channel. They actually came here. They have a couple of our dogs, and they actually came here and did a little interview. So they got a cool video with some information on it. As far as the questions that they ask. I saw another YouTuber was on with like one of those documentary things, and it said, how are Corsos with small dogs, I believe it was, or other animals? And this guy said that they're fantastic with them. It's not word for word, but what, Aiden? No, we're not done with the video. I'm still talking right now. Cat! Louie! Hey! We should get them some bones to keep them busy. But the guy said that they're good with small dogs and other dogs, and his reasoning was, again, not word for word, but that the Corso will see the small animal as part of its pack and or its family, and it will bring it in and have it be part of its pack and protect it as part of its pack. Not true. That's what I mean. Some of these people, they're just putting out bad information. A Corso wants to, what's the right word? They want to be in control, right? A Corso.
Yes.
I'm talking about this guy who was like, oh yeah, don't mind him. I got to repeat stuff to him because he doesn't listen to what goes on around him. Focus one direction. Right? So,
I can't hear.
But that guy who was on that documentary thing, and he's got a YouTube channel of his own. He's got like one dog. I don't know how he became an expert, but they asked about small animals. Aiden, no, hold on, I'll be back.
Woodshed time it is. Be quiet.
Aiden.
Oh, I'm trying to make it funny, interesting.
Aiden.
Keep people around and watching.
But so yeah, the guy said, if you have small animals or small pets, that the Corso will see it as family and they'll bring it into part of its pack and they'll protect it. not so much. They can do well with small dogs, but oftentimes that small dog has to understand that the Corso's the boss. Are they going to bring it into its pack? Maybe, but they are most times going to vie for alpha with that small dog. So keep that in mind when you hear people saying they're great with other dogs. We do have plenty of families who have smaller dogs and they also have a Corso, but they've taken the necessary steps to do a proper introduction, and they've seen that change come through. And if there's anybody watching who have our puppies, comment on there and let people know what you've done with your small dogs to make them more of a family structure, and what you saw with your Corso. Did they, dominate them right away? Obviously, you got your puppy young, so you're probably seeing. Usually, once their hormones kick in, is when you start seeing that change happen, and you'll see the dynamics shift from all of a sudden. The Corso kind of wants to tell the smaller dogs what to do. The other thing you'll find is that because we do have Corso with more what we consider proper temperament. They will say somebody, if you live in the city, and somebody's walking down the sidewalk and the dogs are running to the gate. So you got the little dog and the Corso. The Corso is going to try to stop this little dog because it wants to get out there and be the one to defend and be the one kind of on the front line. So they're saying, you hang here and I'll go get it. So that can sometimes become a problem if that smaller dog doesn't want to take that kind of backseat role, and they can spark up on each other in that instance. So I'm not saying that they're terrible, but at the same time, like I said, the people who are, they're great. They can be. I mean, this breed, obviously, we wouldn't have been in it for this long if we didn't think they were great dogs. But can be is the key there, not all. Oh, crap. That one pulled loose. This one's going to be gigantic. You need to cut them a little smaller. Whatever you're cutting, they need to be smaller.
They've all been the same length. They've all been the width of the.
Okay, do them a little smaller because I'm having to undo all my knots and retie them and cut them shorter. I thought you were cutting them shorter. Because I don't even think this will fit the big male. The orange one.
Yes, 24/7, 365.
What, Aiden?
He said, imagine your house is like just 24/7. Let it.
Yes, it is. Welcome to our world. That's why I say we're trying to bring you transparency, and I think it's something that a lot of people don't bring. Like, this is our house.
We
This
don't
is
have
our
the
life.
clips in there. That's why they're being longer now.
What clips?
That's got clips. This one will have clips.
Those ended up being about the same, but that male was the biggest one we have. So maybe a little bit smaller, because like Pink needs a smaller one for sure. We have 4 Corso puppies right now. And yeah, these are going to be a little big on them. So yeah, but this is our life.
Get your foot off the dog.
I don't really feel any need to hide anything. If we go out and we do a live video and there's poop in the puppy pen, it happens. It's not perfectly clean all the time, guys. We spend a lot of time cleaning stuff around here. Boy, do we spend a lot of time cleaning stuff. But, for instance, we have 16 puppies out there right now, and they eat 4 times a day. We never did do 16 times 4. I'm terrible at math, especially in my head. But he's much better at it. 64 piles of poop per day. Yeah. So that's a lot. A lot of dookie. Dookie happens. We run live videos on our whelping females, and if you've seen them, you've seen that we had Arrows went great the last litter, and she's naturally whelped all of her litters, but some of them don't, and you'll see us kind of take our patience and take our time and let them try and figure out what they're doing. But when it's time to go to the vets, it's time to go to the vets, and you've seen that happen.
How about if you already have weak temperament dog and bringing in a new Corso puppy? What is good advice?
Hey, look at you.
Weak temperament would be a submissive dog. Is that what you mean? If you already have a submissive dog? Hey, Dubs, quit trying to spill your food. Dubs got neutered. Dubs is our boxer. If you've seen some of the videos, he got neutered on Monday, just so we don't have any accidents around here.
Yeah.
Don't
want to get called out for crossbreeding.
Yeah. Be careful. He's a year. What do you? I gotta go take that bowl. He's gonna spill his food.
Turn the year January.
So he would know what he's doing.
So he's 16 months old now.
Stay. Fling it around. Okay. There you go. Did he answer? Was that he, she asking about skittish? Are you talking skittish or are you talking submissive?
Reactive dog.
A reactive dog. Yeah, that's going to be tough. Because the Corso does really want to be the boss. Yes, Aiden. Can you put that in the trash, please? Yeah. Thank you. So as a puppy, they're likely to be submissive, but you really don't want that. You don't really want your puppy to come in and be dominated either by this other dog and have to be submissive. Because with a Corso, the worst thing they can be is fearful. So we want these dogs to be raised like they're on top of the world. We want them to be the most confident dogs that they can possibly be. Having them in a situation where they continually have bad experiences with an aggressive dog is bad. And that's one of the reasons why we say avoid dog parks. Dog parks are just not a good place. We talked about a Corso wanting to be they don't like uncontrolled energy. So in the dog parks, there's a ton of that. And owners not faulting people, but not everybody knows dog behavior. I'm not saying that they all should, but in a dog park situation, that can really be a disaster waiting to happen, especially with the Corso, because they see they read dog language. They're a dog, and they see something about to happen, and they're going to run over there and try and control that, and it can turn into a fight. So yeah, reactive dog. I wouldn't think the Corso is the best breed for you to introduce to that dog while you're having those issues. Hi, Fig. You want to come up here? You want to come up here? Come here. Samir, come up. Come up further, then the camera will be able to see you. Come on. Oh, yeah, there he is. This is how big he is. I know. Fig is a big boy. Biggeroo. Don't knock those on the floor, bub. Look at him. He has matured so much in the last couple of years. Yes, you have. Last year, actually. He's 2 now. And he is a giant baby. Yes, he is. Aren't you? Yeah. I know, I love you too. I do. I love you too. You should give him kisses. Oh. You're silly.
Put this on your mouth. No, in your mouth, not in.
It's a muzzle. Look how good this dog is. You ever wonder about temperaments? What is going on, babe? It's like I can't kiss mommy. You're such a good boy. You're such a good boy, you are. Big feet. Big feet. Back up. I think the guy's calling. Back up. You gotta get off.
Can I go with you, Mom?
Back up. You just knocked Aiden's drink on the floor.
Can I go with you, Mom?
I'm just holding right here. Stay right there. No, stay. Aiden, you stay also. You stay also. Aiden.
My goodness, I'm oh my goodness. Next question. I would pick a male. When she comes in, she'll give you a more in-depth answer
Hey, Dad.
on what she would do.
Dad. Can you get some shoes on? Go with Mom and Dad. Mom. Can I go with Mom?
I guess.
We're going this time.
Where's Mom going?
Downhill.
Down the hill?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I guess she's going down the hill. So it'll be a second there, Amber, on your answer from her, but I would pick a male. It's just because that's what I've always had. First course was a male. A box of been males. I had a female am staff. I take that back. Not all my photos have been male. I had a female am staff. I wanted a male, but all I had left was females, so that's what I ended up with. Now, obviously, being a breeder, there's some of all different genders here. We have dogs that think we have females that think they're males, and they lift their leg to pee on things. Kind of crazy actually to see that, but it happens. It happens. Any other simple questions? I like simple questions. I guess that's kind of a simple question too. Male. Okay. Any question? Oh, we're losing people. Hurry, help with the questions. I'm the boring one. She took off and left me here in front of the dang camera. Hi. Don't mind me, I'm just sitting here making colors while she's up running around. Ah, that's a good one, Tony. 3 is the most we will breed a female. 3 litters and then they retire. What type of breeders should you avoid? A lot of them. If they don't seem interested in helping you, if they're all about, well, this is what I got, deal with it type attitude, I'd avoid them. They claim to have American Cane Corsos. I'd avoid them.
Look, Dad. Look.
Oh, you got some dandelions.
A bunch. Look.
A bunch. I seen them.
I picked up from the yard out there.
Yeah.
Sorry. Did you in the water? can put them in there.
Just put them over on the counter. I'll get some.
Right here. Right here.
Over there. Oh, we're still losing people. Oh no, the plane's going down. We're losing people.
I'm going to get one. Okay?
Okay.
There's a whole bunch in the yard.
I don't think you need to bring them in here. You can go get. Don't bring any more in. That's enough.
Oh, please. Do one more.
No, that's enough.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you.
go get some different kinds.
Okay. That I do not know. I've never had a Borble. I have no clue. She might know better. I have no clue. I don't think I've even ever headed a Borble. Oh, we're back up to 9. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. You are going crazy. Oh, now they hear stranger. They were barking just a bark. Now they hear a stranger. Oh no, we're losing people again. Wow, there's crazy lag.
Here. Look.
Okay.
Me and Mom will listen. The lighting.
These puppies need to go out. This video is brought to you by Cane Corso. Spam alert. Oh my goodness. Hopefully this guy's leaving so these guys can go out. My ears are starting to bleed. She's coming
Get
back.
back. You can't go out yet. You're still here. I had to take him out and show him that tree down on the fence line over there. The one by where the burn pit was. What do you have going on in here?
I'm just making bracelets and being a good housewife. Hey, we're back up to 10. Just drop back on the link.
Are we boring, you guys?
I'm boring. They don't.
Cat.
No, hold on. We got some questions that you can answer now that you're back. Oh my Jesus. Oh my Jesus.
Oh, see that? It's cold out.
Huh?
YouTube.
Hey, yeah. Oh yeah, people are coming back now. Jen's back. Everybody comes back.
For what? For what? Nick, come to back. Nick, come back. Nicky, come back every time. Nicky, come back every time. This game.
What is that? Is that a rope snake?
Yeah. You like it?
Yeah.
I that big box of bones, the Lila bones that I ordered from Amazon.
Yeah.
I thought they were in the pantry, but apparently they are not. So here's a crunchy bone for now. Give you something to do. There you go. I guess we'll find them later. You got another one ready for me to make?
We don't have the things. Just make your own.
Oh, okay. All right, so the
Join
Corso babies.
the bracelet.
I need dark blue, light blue, pink, and gray.
When you got these big ones,
Oh, yeah.
you're gonna do it.
Okay, so we have a gray. And yeah, I guess Aiden, please stop.
What?
Please stop. We'll change. What do you guys think? We're gonna change. We'll change gray. No, we can't change gray because we have a gray. We will change light blue to orange. She's getting changed. So what are our questions?
If you had to pick male or female, what would it be? That's from Amber Da Silva.
If I had to pick, that's tough. Because I've had some amazing girls. And Dora she just laid down at my feet. Doesn't matter where I'm sitting, she lays down at my feet. And then you have Fig, and he's amazing. And Chino, which is our foundation male, amazing. Just really good boys. See, you're making me pick certain kids over the other, and now I feel like a bad parent.
That's the males.
Yeah, why?
They didn't ask why.
Well, I'm asking you why. They want to know. Don't you want to know why? You just don't want me to say, hey, well, I prefer a female, and that's it. You want to know why, right? Why?
Size, intimidation.
Size, yeah. So the males are bigger, oftentimes. They are more intimidating. This is how I describe it. Some people like it, some people don't. No. Don't do that. Okay, obviously these have to go away from him. So like when somebody comes to the gate, right? Our girls are first ones out there. They're a little more sparky than the males. The best way for me to describe it, like I said, some people, I don't think you're going to get offended. As females, when somebody starts irritating us, we're like, that. You know, the very second that you've started to irritate us because we start talking and telling you about it. Whereas men kind of in general take it for a little bit before they, you know, from the guy, they're just kind of like, hey, I'm gonna just suck you in the face. Please shut up. For lack of better, this is just us. We're just talking. So wouldn't you agree with that? Yeah. So that's how the Corsos kind of are. So like I said, somebody pulls up to our gate, our girls are on it. The boys kind of hang back. I'm like, well, we're here if you need us, but you know, so far they've got it under control. Now, if the girls get up to the gate and there's kind of some commotion going on, yeah, the boys they'll head straight out. But even like we noticed the other day with Louie, so Louie and Kat are 4 months old, 4.5 months old, and we're teaching them. We use watch as our word for the dogs. And so we'll say, watch them. And the puppies are starting to kind of spark up and growl a little bit. And we encourage them to do that and build their confidence. And we tell them they're good puppies. But so Kat ran out to the gate because our neighbor was out. You know, it's bad. We use our neighbor as bait, right? But we'll tell them, you know, when the puppies run out there, hurry up and run away. So they think they scared you off and, you know, builds their confidence. But so Kat ran up there and she's barking. And we're telling her she's a good girl. And then Louie kind of went halfway. And we told him he was a good boy. And he barked a little bit. And then he came back. So he's kind of more of a, I'm going to stay back here with my family type of guy. And each dog is kind of individual. So, yeah, I don't know that I prefer one versus the other. They're different. He says that the males bond to females and females bond to males.
That's what I've heard.
All of our girls are bonded to me.
All our males are bonded to you. They're all bonded to you.
Me. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So did I even answer the question?
Yes.
I don't know.
Good enough. What types of breeders should they avoid?
Do they? Does this take? Hang on. Does this take more or less string? Probably less. Yeah.
A lot less.
Okay. So how big are you going?
This one was like this.
So Corso is probably here. All right. What were we talking about?
Types of breeder you should avoid.
Oh yeah. So, like I said, we're talking about doing a red flags video. Holy crap, we've been talking for an hour and 33 minutes. Thank you.
She's just warming up.
For everybody who listens to me just go, right? Thank you. If you have suggestions, put them down in.
I would say thanks, it saves my ears, but I'm still listening to it too.
If you have suggestions, put them down in the comments, unless you're like, hey, this chick needs to just be quiet, in which case he tells me that all the time and I just don't listen. So,
we had somebody say that about him the other day in one of the other videos.
Yeah.
That kid's annoying. Well, guess what? If you're watching now,
be nice.
Kid's annoying. You're annoying.
He
Breathing is annoying.
Aiden was talking kind of over us in one of the videos, and they were like, that kid needs to respect that adults are talking. And I was like, he's 3. And he does not comprehend that, nor is his brain ready to comprehend that. That is something that he will learn, but not at 3 years old. And he gets mistaken a lot because he's so big that he's older, but he's not. And we let him be involved in things. We let him think and know that his opinions are important. And yes, there are times when he needs to be quiet, but you know, we like for him to be involved in things. So back to the breeder question. We are thinking about doing a video on red flags for breeders, but a few of the things that'll work. Yeah. A few of the things are they should not allow you to choose your puppies prior to 6 weeks. And they should know how, this is kind of a double thing, they should know how to evaluate the temperament of their puppies. So that's why experience comes in. Where a new breeder who is maybe their first litter, if they don't have a good mentor that's helping them, they don't know what a good temperament is. They don't know what they're even looking for in these puppies to match them with their families correctly. So I'm not saying that all new breeders are bad, because some of them really do give it the best go, but experience is what you're looking for when you want breeder support. Now we do mentor a couple breeders, and they'll say to their clients, you know, we're mentored by Worldwide Cane Corso, and you know, although we're a new breeder, if you have questions that we can't answer, we'll reach out to her or get them in contact with us. Yes, I see that. That's really not what we're supposed to do with those, though. So you don't want a breeder who's going to let you pick the puppy under 6 weeks, because they have no clue what that puppy is going to be, whether it's going to be suitable for your family or not. And I think that it's, oh, you picked a lot of dandelions. Thank you. I don't think it's ethical for people to charge more for pick of the litter. Yeah. So all of our puppies are the same price. You either purchase breeding rights or you don't purchase breeding rights. But other than that, they're the same price. And when people try to get more money out of pick of the litter, I think it's really just a marketing ploy. And they'll try to do that for both genders. And then there's some people who will say, oh, I know it's the last puppy, but we reserved it for ourselves because we were going to keep it. And you're so lucky that you get the last puppy because it's the best puppy in the whole litter. You know, sometimes that can be the case. And say we've held back a puppy that for one reason or another, we've decided not to keep. I'm not saying it's always a lie, but it's a lot of times not the truth. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
I think it's how they want to sell their last puppy. My personal opinion. Other red flags are people who say, my dogs are the best. And if they just are convinced that there is nothing that you could find that's better, don't walk, run. Because somebody who is educated in the breed knows and understands that, holy crap, he's making nuts out of that. 1, 2, 3.
What are you doing, Aiden?
4. They understand. Talking about this child.
Red flags. But let's go to the next
yeah.
question, because you're going to be spending like 8 hours on this.
I will. We'll do a video on red flags. We will.
How many times do you breed them? I already said 3.
No, I mean, they don't all get bred. We've actually only had 2 that we've had 3 litters in 13 years. Only 2 girls, Gypsy and
Aiden,
Arrow.
please stop.
And they are now retired.
Aiden.
I can stop that.
To the woodshed.
Hard to get back in the chair because I have a
Dora's sleeping at your feet.
Yeah, I have a Corso down there that. Please stay out of this drawer. What was the next question? Was there a question? No.
There was the different temperaments between, or the difference in temperaments. Woosfraba.
Woosah.
Anyway. Oh, we're losing people. We're losing them.
I'm so sorry.
Sock 'em.
We're boring.
My bad.
Temperament in what?
Difference in temperament between a Corso and a Border.
I don't know. I've never owned a Borble.
That was my answer.
No clue. Can't. What I've heard is that the Borbles are a little harder of a temperament. Now, I don't really know in what exact context they meant that. So I don't know if they mean that they're harder to train, a harder dog in general, as in, like a Corso is aloof.
Yes, Tony.
But, also can be friendly with strangers. Maybe a Borble is harder in that aspect where they're not so friendly with strangers. I really have no clue. Never worked with one.
Off camera talk.
What? Yes, we had a meeting. Mm-hmm.
Did you leave the dogs on and get out of their faces? And any good colors that won't rub the hair off the dog.
Yeah, they have fur sabers. They're actually called fur sabers, and they look like a choke chain, but they're big. Gosh, I've got one around here. Where is it?
We don't have a fur saber.
Yeah, we do.
No, we don't.
We do.
We don't.
I'll be back. I may or may not find it.
Oh my God, we're back up to 10 and now you're leaving. It's gonna be like at 4 whenever you come back because everybody hates me. What time is it? 2 o'clock, 2:45. All right, we're answering y'all questions. If anybody's paying attention, where are y'all from? What do y'all do? That's not good. Anyway? Down the hill again. What I missed? Knoxville. Wish he was closer. This whole quarantine and a quarantine haircut thing is killing me. I finally got one. The first haircut I had was like a week ago, and it had been since like December since I'd had a dang haircut.
Come on. Aiden. Out. Thank you. In all our spare time, we really do need to get our tomato plants in the ground.
Yes, I know we need to get our tomato. Right? In the other videos, I look like Grizzly Adams, but with his beard hair on my head.
No, don't know where it is. Our dogs live naked, so finding collars is oftentimes challenging, especially when we have to hide. We do have one.
We've never had a perceiver. Now she's gonna go looking again. She's just gotta go to prove me wrong. Oh, okay, you're right. We did have one.
I just don't know where it's at. It might be hanging out in the addition with the other collars. May or may not, not really sure. But they're long links. If you put in for saver, it'll probably come up. Grandma's home.
Novel player. What do you guys think of how there is some type of argument between the old school Corso and the new?
Oh boy, let's not.
I've seen a bunch of people brag on Facebook how theirs is an old school. So
Old school.
Old school.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Oh, squishy face. She won't fit up here. I don't want to bring up pictures of other people's dogs, and I don't know who they are, and I get in trouble.
Well, we won't state no names.
So,
but there are some people in this country, breeders.
Here's my.
In Ohio.
Yeah, there are quite a few in Ohio.
That think they're the originators of the Corso.
Yeah, they
in the world
feel the need to tell people that they have the original Cane Corso here in the States. Well, newsflash, it's from Italy. That's where they came from. Aiden, you gotta scoot over and sit down.
Aiden is just like Mama, non-stop.
Go, 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 go. From the moment he wakes up, his feet hit the floor, he does not stop until...
I am the complete opposite, and I gotta deal with two of them.
So yeah, old school. Is many times my opinion. People want to crucify me for this, but this is my opinion. If you read the standard, old school, when people say that, I think it's really just an excuse for them having ugly dogs. Did I say that? I said that. Lie.
You said that.
I said it. I said
lie. It. Ugly dogs.
They face all squishy.
Neapolitan Mastiff.
Yeah, that's the original Cane Corso. It is not. It's not. It's just not. That's just their excuse because.
And it's not your small ones that look like boxers either. It's actually in between.
Right.
Fig,
yeah.
Come here.
Fig is. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull this up.
Fig. Come here.
Da, 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 da. Got me on the spot. That's what a Corso head should look like. Can you even see it? See this? It's not a lot.
Shouldn't look. I'm sorry. It shouldn't look like.
He doesn't even have enough.
I can't even make his face squishy.
They shouldn't look like a Neapolitan. And if they have dogs like that, and they're like, "Oh, it's old school." No, you just got some mixed.
That's the look. Right there.
Mixed ass neo, who knows what. And oftentimes, if you look at these dogs who have all this, I call it yuck, right? They have all this stuff on their face that they're not supposed to have. It's all droopy and wrinkly, and they have this heavy dewlap underneath here, which people will hide.
No,
right?
no, you can't shoot.
No. Those aren't yours.
We just spent all this
Out.
time. No, let go.
Out.
Okay, get down. You want to show them collar.
When you look at dogs, ask people to show them without them holding them up, because you can you set the collar here, and it makes all that droop go away because you pull it all up. You know, kind of like, look at that plastic surgery, guys. Same exact thing. You put the collar on, you pull it up, and the people know how to set it exactly right, so you don't see all that. So always ask for a picture of them without anything on, so you can really see what that dog looks like underneath of it. But oftentimes you'll find the ones that have these really heavy faces also have a low chest. So when you're looking at the dog, its rear end is up here, and its chest may be here. It's got a dip and then hump. So they're, of course, it shouldn't be built like a hot rod. They just shouldn't. So that's a Neapolitan trait. I haven't looked at their standard, but most of the ones we see in the show ring, they're higher in the rear, lower in the chest. They have a weak top line. Corso is not supposed to be like that. That is not old school. That's an excuse.
That's shitty breeding.
Hold on.
English.
Yeah, try and be a little more family friendly here. Standard. I'll find this for you quick.
Dad, you want to try these?
No, I don't.
You try them?
I don't want to.
Open. Yeah, we'll open it with the Acrobat reader. Sure, that'll work.
Thank you, Danielle.
What?
She said, our dogs are gorgeous. Our babies are gorgeous.
They are our babies. I will turn this way, and I don't know if I'll be able to get it big enough. Okay. Maybe you can see this, maybe you can't. But I will quote, it says expression. This is the Cane Corso standard expression. Very alert and attentive. Some wrinkling on the forehead occurs when alert. Occurs when alert. Figgy, Dora. Figgy, come here. Come here. Come here. He's like, I'm not supposed to jump on the counter, Mom. I'll just show you a picture of Fig.
He's right there.
Oh gosh. There he is. I need a front view. I need you to turn this way. Yeah, hold on, let's go over here. Off. Come here.
No, not my flowers.
I'm not doing anything to your flowers. Come on up here, bub. Come here. Yo, there you go.
Oh my goodness.
He's a wrecking ball. Can you see his face? He has some wrinkles right here. And that's it. And if I do this, nope. He's not going to cooperate. I'm just going to show a picture. He knows he's not supposed to be on the counter. Let me find a Figgy picture.
Hey.
And there are lots of breeders who have the correct head type. But
It's not that I don't see you.
I'm going to let these puppies out quick.
How's it going?
The guy's gone, yeah.
Yay! Ding dong, which is dead, which is with. Hi,
Outside.
Outside.
Outside, everybody, outside. Go. You going on the porch with them? Whew! Silence.
The kids and the dog. All the kids, furry ones, 4-legged and 2-legged,
right?
all outside. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Here is my biggie picture. But yeah, that's my take on old school. They are supposed to have wrinkles upon expression. Dubs, you can't go out and play right now because you got neutered and you can't play that rough. Here. There. See, he's alert because we're taking his picture. See the wrinkles in his forehead? That is a giant. You've seen how big Fig is. So don't let somebody give you some excuse of, oh, well, his face is so wrinkly. Because if you want a real Cane Corso and you want a big Cane Corso, they have to have all this yuck. They do not.
Proof in the pudding.
They do not. You've seen how big he is. His head is almost twice the size of mine. I don't know what he weighs because we haven't put him on a scale. We've got a vet scale in the addition, but we just haven't taken him in there and put him in it. But they do not have to have yuck on their face in order to be a big dog. Do not. Do not.
It's like
Not old school.
Wayne's
And if you
World.
look at his posts and even the posts that I put on of his puppy Louie, you'll notice that there are a lot of foreign breeders who comment on it. Watch your foreign breeders because they know what's up.
right. It came from Italy, not America. I'm pretty sure Italians know more about the breed than Americans.
Yeah, that was kind of one of my things when I first got into Corso. I was talking to, again, Ohio. I'm not saying all breeders in Ohio. I know a couple phenomenal breeders in Ohio, but there are some.
Tony said it's too quiet. You can't take it.
Right? Here's another one. Here's Envy. This is Fig's sister. She's a big girl. Don't mind the slobber, right? But you see what I'm talking about? Like, we do not have to have yuck. And Envy's a big girl. What do you think she weighs? 125, 130-ish, something like that. There, get the glare off of it. See, no wrinkles. It just, they don't have to have it. They're not supposed to have it. But yeah, when I first got in, there was a guy who was arguing with me. I mean, we weren't really arguing. I was just trying to understand. I was kind of new at the time. And I was trying to understand why they were trying to make an American version of the Corso, because I had researched and looked, and we had already imported a couple dogs. Dubs, please. And they, at the time, the Italian standard was undershot. For even our American standard said undershot preferred, level and scissors accepted, as long as the head parameters were correct. So, and they were trying to change it at the time to a scissor bite. And I said, why are you trying to make an American version of the dog? Well, it's because that's what they felt like a catch and hold breed was supposed to be. So that's why we've seen kind of the transition come through the American standard, and now let's see what the current one says. They just changed it, right? They've created a standard that fits the style of dogs that the people within that club that make the rules produce. Yeah. Mm-hmm. There it is. I just said it out loud. People are going to crucify me for this. And that's kind of a thing. Like, whatever you say, there's people, I'm sure this will get shared 20 million times. Oh, she's bashing this. She's whatever. Just, I mean, come on. It's really not that complicated. Breeders make things so freaking complicated. It's just not that complicated. Education is, you got to do that. But at the same time, there are some things that just aren't that complicated. Like, people say, oh, the Corso was recognized and blah, blah, blah. You know what? I just happened to have this up because I had to show this to somebody else the other day that was arguing. 2010. You can't even read it because I got a glare on it. There it is. 2010. AKC recognizes the Cane Corso. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. Not up for debate. It's a fact. Where did my standard go? I just had that up. Oh. I guess I'm gonna have to search it again. There it is. Go to search it again and find it. Oh, it's because it downloaded. It wasn't in my internet screen any longer. Now I downloaded it again. Let's see. Just because I don't want anybody saying she doesn't know what she's talking about, we're going to look it up and find out exactly what it says today, May, whatever it is. Body, head. The bite should be somewhere within the head, one would think. I'm getting old and my eyes suck.
Reading was right.
Bite. Okay, so it does say slightly undershot still. They are trying to change it, I believe, to level or scissor. So it says slightly undershot, no more than 1/4 inch, and level. Oh, there it is. They did already change it, and level is preferred. So when that standard came over here, that wasn't the case. It was undershot preferred, but because so many people bred dogs here with level and scissor bites, they needed to change it up. So it got changed. So yeah, we still say we'd say now slightly undershot, no more than 1/4 inch, and level preferred. Scissor bite is acceptable if the parameters of the head and muzzle are correct. Dentition is complete. Incisors are in a straight line, no more than 2 missing teeth. Disqualifications are more than 2 missing teeth, a wry mouth, and undershot more than 1/4 inch. That's our current standard for bites. Why am I even talking about bites?
I don't know.
I don't know. Because I get off on tangents and I don't know. Do we have enough collars? Are we done boring people? How many do we have? We can actually count them now that we don't have little fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 male size. We got the 4 Corso size. Actually, we have 5 Corso size because that's not going to fit a male. Do you want me to cut that down or just use it for the next litter?
This could be a
This probably cannot. What other questions we got?
That's it.
No more questions. Everybody's out of questions. So the other videos, puppy preparedness. We're thinking about doing puppy preparedness and get the whole puppy kit put together, and then we'll do a giveaway and give that puppy kit to somebody. And red flag for breeders, which we went through a couple. They shouldn't ever let you pick them young. I don't have a problem with breeders letting you choose by color. Like for us, I would say you shouldn't compromise quality for color. And as long as you're not doing that, I don't have a problem with it. It's kind of like, you know, if you just really want a red car, you're not going to pay the same amount for a white when you're white. So it's okay to want a certain color. So if somebody places a deposit with us and it's their turn to pick and we don't have exactly what they want, they can just say, you know, they're beautiful puppies, whatever, but I really want a gray one and you don't have a gray one left. So they can just wait till the next litter. It's not a problem. I don't have. Okay, what's the question?
Says, what do you think of people mixing the Cane Corso with other breeds? Someone said that their dog was, I'm assuming these are percentages, 50% Corso, 25% French Mastiff, and 25% Doberman, and said it was a Canis Panther.
Oh,
AKC papers.
With AKC papers. Yeah, I've seen that come up. It's actually when I go to register the microchips, it's one of the selections that Canis Panteris or whatever, basically like a cat dog. Cat dog we call Katarina, our cat, we call her cat dog. That's her nickname. But let's see. AKC and Paris. I don't know if it's a breed. I wouldn't think it's a breed. Design or crossbred. So I'm going to say
no, it's not going to be AKC.
Not AKC papered. If it's
maybe
AKC,
CKC.
CKC, or that there's one that some people were talking about on the forum. It's something kennel gosh, I wish I could remember it. They claim it's the oldest registry. Basically, you can register anything you want there, and they will give you a set of papers. It's kind of like the designer dog registry. They'll just register anything. So I think that there are some true band dog breeders doing a good job with crossing breeds, but they're paying attention to the individuals that they're using, and they're educated breeders. They're not just somebody saying, hey, I'm just going to throw these two dogs together and see what comes of it. Oh, Aiden's showing you. You can't see. You got to lift your hands up further. There you go. He's been out digging in the dirt. Okay, now you're dropping dirt all over the laptop. Can you? Thank you. But yeah, so I think that some of these band dog breeders aren't doing a bad job. And we had been asked one time, and they never did, but we've been asked by a band dog breeder who has very well-known dogs that they use actually for working dogs and hunting hogs. And they're a very well-established breeder. They health test everything they have. And they had asked at one point if we wanted to, would you consider letting us use our one stud, which is Reaper? And I said, I don't have a problem with it as long as things are health tested. And like I said, it was a very, very good breeder who was breeding dogs for a specific purpose. And they knew the cross that they were trying to do. And yeah, so in certain circumstances, I don't have a problem with it, but I don't think that just dogs just be thrown together without somebody really having a purpose for those dogs and knowing what they're going to produce, or at least having a plan of what they're trying to produce and know how to evaluate those dogs to know if they did or did not produce it, so that they are making sure that those dogs are in responsible homes. But Doberman, haven't heard of Dobie come up in pedigrees much. I wouldn't think that'd be a great cross on a Corso. I wouldn't see any benefit to doing that. They're very different breeds and different purpose breeds.
But I don't know if you've seen it. There was a message on Messenger for World Like Corso from the lady that has Harvey.
Yeah.
She wants another dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she should probably get one from somebody else. So one of our dogs ended up in, we sold him as a companion, and the people did not listen, and they thought it was really cute that the dog growled and barked at the husband when he was coming down the hallway to get into the bedroom. Well, he got big, and that growling and barking was him, saying, I've claimed mommy and you're not allowed in the bed. Well, that escalated, and we ended up taking the dog back as an owner surrender and worked him through his issues. And then we let him go with a trainer who went out to California, and the dog was great with him. He was phenomenal. But then that trainer left out of the country and left the dog with this lady who actually has a YouTube documentary. I don't know her name, and she uses the dog in her breeding program, and she has a crossbreeding program, and she does some of those Pantheras, whatever they are. And she speaks very highly about Harvey and about our program and about our dogs. I mean, she does have a great dog, but I don't know the interworkings of her breeding program, so we definitely need to really look into that. But we did not sell her that dog. It ended up with her through other circumstances that were beyond our control.
She doesn't have paperwork, but what she's breeding, she don't need paperwork for, so it doesn't matter.
Right. She might have paperwork because we gave it to. Yeah. It was not gonna. Where did he go? Are we done making collars?
No, because I have 8, and I have 9 males, and I need 1 for the female. I need 10.
Well, here, this has got to be a female, right? Light pink. I mean, you got light pink and dark pink.
I'm doing these
You're gonna have to put a pink on a boy, or is this for your girls?
No. Let's go on a boy.
The boy pink. What we got? Okay.
We don't have enough to give them. Don't mind the naked kid running around if you've just seen him shoot past the camera.
he is pantless. He's headed to the potty.
I don't know if he was able to see him go past your chair over there.
Oh,
The other side.
Oh, over here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be kid butt level. Yes. Oh, let's see. Color, what about
Oh, here it
gender? Or is that something else you match based on temperament and applicate situation? Is there a big difference in males versus females? So we did cover that a little bit earlier, the boys versus girls.
What are you doing?
Oh, hold on. Here.
Putting pants back on the child.
Did you go potty?
Yeah.
Okay, good job.
What are you using to make collars?
Paracord.
Paracord. 550 quarter for military or prior military.
Here you go.
Get it in any hobby store.
Joanne Fabrics. What?
Yes, streakers.
Honey got
Streakers.
my caterpillar toy.
What happened?
Doves.
Oh, did they take the foot for your caterpillar? Uh-oh, did you take it from them? Did you give it back? You better put your boots on and go put that back. His caterpillar toy got torn apart in the storm, and apparently the puppies took one of the feet for the caterpillar. Okay, good job, Aiden.
Come on, be safe. Don't fall down in the rocks out there.
Okay. Do you need me to make one more? Huh? Yes. Okay. So males versus females, we kind of covered earlier. You can, once this is done, you can go back and listen to all the talking. But generally people reserve, I've got a few right now that are reservations that they don't care which gender they get. So at that point, we'll just go by that individual, the individual dog's temperaments and see which one fits their lifestyle best. Dubs, please. I'll bring them in a minute. What was the other? There was another one on there.
Another one what?
Another question after the males versus females.
What are you using to make the collars?
Oh, yeah, you already covered that. These are super easy to make. If you're a breeder, just make your own collars. Right? And they charge like $3 a piece for these.
Or contact us. And for $5 a collar, we'll make it. While we do a live session.
We'll do a live video and make your collars at the same time, and you can watch them be made. No, don't do that. We don't have time to make extra collars. This isn't going to be long enough, is it?
Yes. It's like plenty long.
If you want to know how to do them. Here.
Oh, God. Listen, come on.
These are without the breakaways. Because we ran out of breakaways. I thought I had more here.
We do somewhere.
I've been rearranging everything.
I know you bought at least 2 packs of those.
Yeah, I thought so too. But what happens is stuff ends up in the junk drawer because it's right here next to us when we're making stuff. And then the 3-year-old happens. And then you don't know where anything's at. Or you know exactly where it's at. He's found it. So now you've put it up higher or you've hidden it and you've forgotten where you hid it. If you have kids, you know what I mean. He is wonderful to have around the puppies though because they get used to all of the
noises, energy.
Yeah, they get used to all of it. And he's really good with the babies. It was super cute. The one live video we did. Oh crap, I'm doing this. I'm not even explaining. I'm talking about other stuff. Okay, put them together. You wrap this one time, and then you wrap it in front of itself. It's really hard for you to see. A second time, and then you push this end through here, like so. Then you can get your handy dandy. Somebody got a tip for us?
Somebody's got a push.
There. And then you do the same thing over here. wrap once, wrap twice, sorry. You're on our webcam for our laptop, so I forget where it's at sometimes. Wrap once, wrap twice, pull through. Cinch it down. Puppy collar. You make it bigger, like so. Or you can pull it all the way down to a little itty bitty baby size. That's it. It's not complicated. And then you hand it to him, and he burns the ends.
He said breakaways are next to the first ever color.
Yeah, they probably are.
Good Lord, what'd you make this for? A Chihuahua puppy?
Yes.
That ain't gonna be big enough for nothing.
Yeah, well, open it up. That'll fit on those mouths. Not a problem. And they go home in a week, so it doesn't have to fit that much longer.
Wow. I hope there's one that's small.
They are that small. They're all that small.
No way, they're bigger than the Corsos in there.
You're right. That male, if you were here with us, thank you if you were here with us for this whole, wow, 2 hours. No wonder where our day goes. Good grief. If we should do a live video of a whole day, and people would probably just get overwhelmed watching. Dubs,
Put
hey,
up
Dubs.
security cameras so you got a camera in every room so you can follow us around.
Right? Like a reality TV show.
Right? That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah.
We'd be YouTube famous. Maybe patent pending pythons would get some more love.
You want to see what else we do? Do you guys want to see? You gotta tell me if you want to see it. Otherwise, I won't bother. But let me know if you want to see what this is all about. Where is it? There you go. You want to know what that's about? Let me know. I'll show you. Gotta make them work for it.
Oh, there was another question. Would you consider submissive or excitement being a temperament issue? And is it bred into lines? Bred into the lines, or is this something the puppy grows out of? Puppy grows out of it.
They grow out of it. Now, you can have a puppy that, Dubs, please stop.
Except for that guy.
Boxers.
His ain't excitement pee. He just pees everywhere.
Boxers are fun. They are not the smartest. Super fun. Great with kids. Tons of energy. Comedians.
Yeah, they're
He does a
funny.
lot of funny stuff. Not just, we have Malinois and Corsos, right? They're kind of great up at the top of the.
Uh-oh, somebody retracted a message.
Oh, no.
What do you use for colors? We don't.
Well, when we go out,
Leather.
yeah. Well, and we use for our puppies, we suggest the martingale style.
Yeah.
Let me go get one of them. That's not how we find it. I think they're all in the truck, to be honest with you. Most of our collars end up in the truck. Here's a tip that I don't tell enough people. Okay, so our dogs live naked, right? But
naked meaning no collars.
yeah,
Well, they have pants on, right?
Because if they go in a crate or whatever, I don't want them getting their collar hung up on something. So people have nice fancy collars all the time. I don't like our dogs in collars, period. But when we go in the vehicle, I get some anxiety. So that's a TMI. Anyway, I worry about stuff. So I have a collar and it's in the truck because that's where it stays. But it is a leather collar and it has printed on it our name and both of our names and phone numbers. It doesn't have a dog's name or anything like that because there was a certain amount of numbers and letters we could put on it. And I thought that having 2 phone numbers was more important than having the dog name. So when we go in the vehicle, I put that on the dog so that if there is a car accident or something happens, they have some form of identification on them and they know how to get a hold of us. Or somebody, would be the 2 of our phones. So if the dog gets loose, we're able to hopefully recover that dog. Knock on wood, wherever that has never happened. But I think it's a good deal. I think it's a good idea. A friend of mine had a dog. She's a vet tech, and she's kind of more like a vet, but she told me a story about she had run into the clinic and had her pregnant female out in the truck, English Mastiff, big dog. And she went in, and she gets a lot of those "Hey doc" questions as she's in there. Dubs, please. So he normally goes out with the other dogs, which is why he's crying. But she went in, and somebody had asked her a question and got stuck in there a little longer than what she was planning on. And she came out, and her dog had hooked its collar on the gear shifter of the vehicle, and it strangled itself to death. So that will never leave my mind. And I try and, like, breeders share stories so that we are kind of prepared for, obviously we don't leave collars on our dogs in crates because people have lost dogs to collars in crates and them choking themselves to death with them. So it's a real thing, and it's something to be aware of. So if you're leaving your dogs unattended in the vehicle, try to make sure that there's nothing that they can get hooked on. The best place for them in vehicles, honestly, secure them in a crate. If you get in an accident, they're safer in there. Oh yeah, it's stuck, huh? And I love the gunner kennels. They're working on them, but they're not quite big enough right now for Dubs. Dubs. You can't go play with them. You just can't. I'm sorry. You gotta wait like a week. But the gunner kennels, they'll fit them up to about 115 pounds. They're comfortable. You can put a big one in there if you're just going for a quick trip, but it's not a good solution if you're traveling like across the country or whatever. But those, if you haven't seen them, look them up. Gunner kennels. They have. I was talking to her yesterday because we do sell them as well. They have a interior and an exterior wall, and she said even on the big ones, there's a 7-inch gap in between those, and they have actually drove vehicles over these crates, so they're super, super safe for your dogs to travel in. Crash tested, I guess, and proven is how you could say that. What was I gonna go get?
Yes, you have to admire his persistence. He doesn't give up.
No, he won't. If you're watching this video on playback, comment, because all these other comments, well, they won't show up. But comment, what do you want to see videos on? What can we bring you that's good content that you want to watch? I noticed that sometimes in our videos, we only get like, I don't know, 2-3 minutes into a 10-minute video and we lose the audience. So I just want to know what we can bring to you that you want to hear rather than just me talking. Or do you just want to hear me talk? I don't know. He doesn't want to hear me talk.
What?
Yeah.
I just ignore.
He does. So I think we're done making collars, and if there's no other questions, we'll wrap it up. We're gonna go clean up after puppies and feed the puppies.
And do another video.
Get these other dogs in and put Dubs out so he can go out and play on his own. And see what Aiden's doing out there. Most likely he is digging in his hole looking for worms.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. Oh, yeah. Tony wants to know about the Python Cup. Gotcha.
Let's know about the what?
Python Cup. I'm not touching Angel.
Python Cup.
Yeah, I said, do you want to know what this is about? Do you want to know what else we do, remember?
Oh, yeah, can you bound those up? Yeah, Angel's not the nicest.
No, go get the new boy. He's pretty. Who else you got that's pretty?
Yeah.
One of the babies?
Donna.
He's gonna get one of the babies.
Going to the bathroom.
He's going potty first, sorry.
2 hours, I gotta go.
More videos on structure, okay? Yes, it is. Tony, you gave it away. I mean, the patent pending pythons gives it away, right? Yeah, they did a really good job with their videos that they did here. It was not scripted at all. I had no idea what kind of questions they were going to ask. Oh, the other thing. So we met these people and they breed bulldogs. And the wife plants all kinds of different plants in their yard, and they don't even use any type of flea and tick prevention. So they're about an hour and a half away from us, and we used to buy, they distribute dog food. We used to buy dog food from them. So I had talked to them, and I thought, and I don't know, what do you guys think? There's only 8 people watching, so we've bored a whole bunch of people by this point. But what do you think about if we went and did like a live with them with a question and answer, bringing kind of that natural way of flea, tick, just it deters bugs, period. Like, is that something that you want to know about? Because I think it's pretty cool. We use some of the diatomaceous, however you say it, earth, and that works. It works pretty good. I'm not confident enough in it to use it solely on the dogs. I haven't had enough time to research exactly how long, how often do you have to apply it, how much do you have to apply, its effectiveness, all that stuff. So we still use NexGard, the Seresto collars. Here it is. Here it is. Here, he's going to tell you. That's what else we do. I, 2 years ago, told him if he brought a snake in the house, I was going to chop its head off. And now we have, I'm not even going to say, let's not, we won't do that because TMI. But these are really cool. Do you know why? Genetically, they come in all different colors and patterns. And I'm not going to say that they don't bite, but they're a ball python. So their defense mechanism is kind of, oh crap. And they just kind of curl up and peek out. So they'll be, like, so. Yeah. They just
she just doesn't care.
But
she's been handled enough. She's used to it.
But they come in all kinds of different colors, and there's some that are recessive and some that aren't recessive. So I'm really a genetic person. I love genetics, all the way back from when I was in horses. So this is really cool, and it's something that I can get into. And I will touch some of them, but I don't want to like love them and hug them and cuddle them. Not that he really does that, but he does more of the handling of them versus me, because I thought I was doing really good with them, and then he was like, "Hey, grab so and so," and I went in to go grab it, and it was kind of looking at me like, all coiled up, like I might bite you, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not quite there. My confidence level isn't exactly where I thought it was. I thought I was cool. I was just gonna reach in there and grab it, and it turned and looked at me, and I was like, yeah, no, I think I'm gonna get bit, and I'm not doing that right now. So I'm working on it. You use the earth stuff too, yeah, whatever it's called. Gotcha. But yeah, I thought that would be super cool to do some natural remedies for flea and tick control. Dubs, I do have, hang on. See, it's flea and tick season. I know where this stuff is at. I've tried this stuff. Hold on, it's upside down. It's gonna fall out of there. There we go. And I've had mixed reviews because we need something natural to put on the girls when they're pregnant, because they claim, they'll make all these claims that they're safe, but I don't really know, and I don't want to lose a pregnancy or have some deformed puppies or something due to flea and tick control. So we've been using the diatomaceous earth, and I've been trying that stuff. And when I went on and tried to look at reviews for that, some people said it worked great, and others were like, my dog is covered in fleas and I put this stuff on him. So I don't really know exactly if it works for everybody, but so far I've got it on Dora, I've got it on Fig, I've got it on one other, and they're good. And we're here in Tennessee. We've had fleas and ticks out for quite a while. Here comes another. Uh-oh, he's hiding it from me. I can see. Oh, there's my boy. I'm excited about this one. I picked this one out. I want to breed ones that look like him. Crap. I can't. The camera. How do we get? Can you see it? No?
You see it?
There. Look how cool that is. Isn't that cool? And I'm touching it. So I want to make some more that look like him. And this one here is actually a combination of both a recessive gene and a would-be dominant gene, right?
Yeah, dominant and codominant.
So super duper.
He's got everything. Codominant.
Hey, what happened?
Oh no!
Oh, did he touch the screen? I think he did. Hold on.
No, we're still on here.
It's here.
Something happened. This is
There
gotta
it is.
close. Holy cow.
I think the snake touched the touch screen or something.
This is one we actually produced last season. This is a recessive.
Turn them like this so they can see the patches of white on them. See all these white patches? Isn't that cool?
And he's a co-down.
So this is what else we do
This
for
is
everybody who...
Pastel Inchy Yellow Belly Pied. That one is a super pastel fire spider exanthic.
And the exanthic is one that both parents have to carry the gene or it will not show up in visual form. And what the exanthic does is basically washes out any color. So if you added exanthic into this, where turn it sideways so they can see, he's got all these cool yellows. It would take all that color out of the snake, but both parents have to carry it. And then you have a heterozygous, which means that they carry the gene, but they are not a visual form of the gene. So if you only have the heterozygous, you have to breed both forms. Both parents have to carry the het in order to get even some visual form of the gene. Whereas if you breed a visual to a visual, you're guaranteed the visual form. Am I right?
Yes.
He mainly knows about this, but I listen to all the stuff he does, and I'm trying to learn because the genetic thing is awesome. But
We're friends, right?
This guy is one that I picked out, and I think he's super duper cool.
And she keeps blocking mine out.
Oh, they don't like their face touched. There he is.
But that's what else we do.
That's what else we do. Yeah. If you're ever wondering, gee, I wonder why they're so busy. It's not just the dogs. I got these guys also, and this is kind of a new project. So it's a fun journey and it's a learning experience. And there's even, genetically, there's things that we're learning that apply into the dogs. And I just really like genetics, no matter what it is. There's only certain ones of these that I'll touch, but somebody wrote something on there. I can't read it.
You give your adult dogs their vaccinations, such as heart and rabies medications yourself, or do you take them to the vet?
We do them ourselves. Rabies, legally here in Tennessee, we cannot do rabies. So, I'm sorry, buddy. I'm trying to put this back up where it was.
He just ate this.
Yeah, I can see the big lump on him.
This is a big old belly.
But yes, we do our own flea tick, heartworm, and see, there is some stuff that's handy here I can show you. Because we have multiple dogs and a bunch of them, we use, so this is HeartGuard, right? And if you look here, see this Ivamic? That's the ingredient in HeartGuard. So for sake of easy, this is what you want. But when you have a whole bunch of dogs and cost becomes a factor, this is what we use, which you really can't read the label anymore. But it does say, oh, I can't get it clear on there. We get it from our vet. It's Ivamic. Hey, Dubs. And so our dogs get 1 ml. This is cattle. It's the same drug again, but this is a stronger variety and it's made for cattle. So our dogs get 1 ml of this per 100 pounds every month. So you can either do chewable form. This is not injectable. It goes orally. It tastes terrible. They hate it. But luckily it's only 1 ml, which is about much. Put this stuff back so I know where it's at. We do all of our vaccinations. Hold on. Oh, he has Buster. Buster alert. Are you ready? There's Buster. He doesn't look half as big as what he is. He's wrapped around his body and back around his waist the other way. Come on,
there you
babies.
go. There's all the Buster.
There's Dora, bossing the babies around. Come on, babies. Here. 1. Merlot, come on. Come on, midget. Where's Louie? What? It's in there. I promise it's in there. Go in there and use your nose. Use your nose. The nose. There's Big and Louie. There's Big.
There's Big.
Did you show him how big he is?
I'll come down here to the end.
Louie, where's Louie at, Aiden? Have you seen him? There he is. Hi, Louie.
He's a good what? 5 foot?
Hold on, I got a tape measure right here. Hi, Buster. Hi, Buster. He is active today.
There's Louie.
Don't mind me tripping over the kid's chair.
Oh, you're gonna have to be raised up.
What?
Needs to be raised up.
Oh, yeah, you can't even see it. There you go. So, scoot over, Dora. Here. Oh, crap, that almost sliced my finger. There. If I can figure out how to use the tape measure. Try one more time. Sorry.
He's almost every bit of 6 foot. Big.
About 58 inches, which is 4 foot 10 inches. Well, yeah, that's why I
Because
said
he's
about.
almost wingspan on me, which is over 6 foot.
Come on, Louie. Come on, Louie. Louie, come here, Bob. Good boy. Come on. Good boy. You go in. The doves need to go out. There you go. All right, Dora. Big, you stay. Yeah.
Hey!
No, just wait. I have to let Dubs out by himself, and I don't want Big and Dora going out, so he doesn't run
Where
too
you
much.
going?
Hi,
Who's this?
Buster.
Buster.
Yeah, Burmese.
He is a Burmese.
He's a
Good
Burmese.
job. You'll be well versed in snakes by the time you go to school.
See, that's why we let Aiden be involved, because he learns so much. You really can't see him. You petting Buster? Yeah.
He's a good snake.
Buster used to be my favorite, but he likes to hiss now when you go to get him out. He's cool once you get him out, but he hisses at you, and it's really intimidating. Like his mouth opens up like this big. Come on, Buster. Come on, Buster. Good job.
He's a kid.
Yes, Aiden.
Can you get me a bowl? Can you get me a bowl?
He says, bye-bye. I'm going to go home now.
You have go get one of your pots from in your digging stuff. Okay, back to vaccinations. If the person who asked is still so afraid of snakes, I know, yeah. I used to be that way too. But these guys are really cool. So this is what we use for our adult dogs. And I order these from either Revival, Alley Vet, or what's the other one called? Jeffers. Depending on price. Yeah, you can use that. But this company, Vanguard, which is it on the front here? It is. It's kind of covered up. But this Vanguard company, our ear crop vet was telling us that they have the highest titers in their vaccinations. So we used to use BI, which is, I'm going to totally mess up the name, but it's kind of like Barham Ingram or something like that. BI is what we call them. We used to use their shots, but he said that these have the highest titer. So they are more expensive, considerably more expensive. But when it comes to vaccinations, I don't like to play around. So my son works at the vet clinic, and he said that most of the dogs they see that come in that are parvo positive have actually been vaccinated with vaccines from Tractor Supply. So there could potentially be some issues there. Now, a good fun fact is if your vet uses the BI brand, I know this much, if your dog contracts, say it was vaccinated for parvo or got one of these multi vaccines that includes parvo, and your dog contracts it, that the company, the manufacturer, will pay for the treatment, which is kind of cool. So these are our puppy shots. And this is what we give to the puppies, same brand. This is a 5-way. It does not include lepto, or like this here is the 5-way. So it's the 5+, which is the same as this. So you get the 5+. The L4 is the 4 strains of leptovirus, and the CV is the coronavirus. Different coronavirus than. So yes, these are our vaccines, and the reason why we use this particular Vanguard brand. So at 6 weeks, our puppies get the 5-way. Now, a new protocol we're trying out. This current litter didn't get it, but we are. Yeah, they are. They're injections. Hold on, I'll open one and show you. Maybe I try and keep these things on because the packages open up in the refrigerator. So this is how they come, and you can order these individually. We order them by the box of 25. So this is how they come, and this one here. I don't know if you can see. You can't really see. There, you can see it has liquid in it, and then this one is the powder, and you draw up the liquid and you put it into the powder, and then you pull that into the syringe and give that as an either IM, intramuscular, or sub-Q, which is just underneath the skin injection. It can be given either way. So that's how those come, and we order boxes of syringes to do that. But I just can. And I totally forgot what I was talking about prior to that question, but that's what we use. So the vet said something that kind of really made sense. He said that when we give these multi-vaccines, what we're doing is we're putting a bunch of different, they're not live viruses, but we're putting a bunch of viruses into the dogs. And what he explained to me is that the immune system is going to kind of pick and choose which one it's really going to build the most immunity to. So they're not generally building an immunity to all of them equally. And what he said that made a lot of sense is that he likes to do parvo only at 6 weeks, because these dogs Corsos are going into the clinic setting to have their ears cropped. And even though they're a clinic, they take all the precautions, there's still risk. And he said he likes to vaccinate them for parvo only, because he's never seen a puppy under 8 weeks old present with anything other than parvo, as far as vaccine viruses go. So he said he likes to give them parvo so they don't have a choice. That's what they're building the most immunity to. And then at 9 weeks, follow up with this 9-way. So they can't have the 9-way young, because they can't have the lepto or the corona when they're young like that. Which is why we do the 5-way. But that made a lot of sense. We did our last litter that way. And this litter, I didn't, just because I forgot to order the parvo. I have potentially, I'll show you. Put these back in the fridge so they don't get too warm. Yes, there is as much dog stuff between the cows, the horses, and the dogs. There isn't as much doggy medication. I'm not positive if that is 4 mLs, and I don't want to get it drawn up and waste it. So that's my parvo only. Can you read it? Maybe. This is how this comes in a 10-dose vial. So this was the parvo only. And I don't know exactly if there's 4 doses left, and I didn't want to risk that there was only 3 and then have them all on different vaccine protocols. So I'm going to order more, and then the next litter I will add to this depending on how many puppies are in that litter. So that's something else you can do, is parvo only. When you're looking for a breeder, they should know their vaccination protocol. They should be using dewormer. So we've done it a couple ways with dewormer. 2, 4, 6, 8 is kind of standard protocol. I've also done 2 and 4 with the liquid dewormer with pyrantel. and we've come back at 6 weeks with benbendazole, and that's a 3-day treatment. We've also switched them at 6 weeks to diatomaceous earth. And that did work as well. We had people run fecal off of that. So it's a little bit harder for us to dose, especially like right now we have 16 puppies out there. There's only 4 of the Corsos, but there's 16 total. And it's hard to kind of mix it in and hope that they all get enough. So when we have a smaller litter, it's easy to use the diatomaceous earth for them. Hopefully you can share the process on the next vaccination time. Yes, cool. Yeah, we already did these guys' vaccinations because they're 6 weeks, but the Malinois have not yet been vaccinated. So we need to do that. And the Corso puppies, the younger litter, are 3 weeks. So they've got another 3 weeks and they'll be done. I don't know if that would be fun for you guys to watch. You want to watch us deworm them? You want to watch us vaccinate them? I don't know. Let us know. But these are fantastic. These work amazing. The downfall of them is I do have a couple that they rub underneath here. They'll rub the bottom of their neck. And a lot of our dogs can't wear them simply because they play rough and they grab each other's necks and scruffs and they pull them off. And we have a large piece of property here. The portion that's just fenced for the dog is somewhere between 8 and 10 acres. We're not sure. But when that costs like 60 to 80 bucks a piece with them, and you look and you look and you look and you're searching through 10 acres and the pond and you can't find it, and then you're mowing and you're like, oh, there it was. So up by the mower. So that's why we don't use these on all of our dogs. If they go out alone and or they don't play too rough, they can wear these, but they are phenomenal and they work really, really, really good if you can use them. They last 8 months. Yeah, Seresto collars. They are, and if you have trouble with them staying on, what some people have done is zip tie them to the inside of a flat nylon or leather collar. Leather maybe not work so much because it's going to bunch up, but then I know that a lot of people who zip tie them to the inside of their nylon collars that the dogs, if your dogs do live in collars all the time. The Seresto collars, no, they are not prescription. You can get them just about anywhere. Just be careful because there are a lot of counterfeits. So where I like to refer people to is Revival. They may not always have the lowest price, but you know you're getting the real product. And you can get them, most of that sell them as well. So Seresto collar, if you can use them, they're fantastic. I think we're going to wrap it up. You got anything else to add? No, we're going to wrap it up. No more questions. Yeah.
Be sure to check us out at.
Yeah. We have a YouTube channel for the pythons as well. You can put it in the search, patent pending pythons, and you can go see what's going on over there also. So thank you all for watching and listening to me talk. I'm sorry for those of you who are bored.
Oh, we're down to 6.
Yeah, no, I'm boring everybody. But wrap it up. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the like, hit the share. I know this is a really long video. For those of you watching it on the playback, if you've watched the whole thing through, again, thank you very much. We appreciate your support. And we really, more than anything, we like your feedback and comments because it helps us to know what you want to know. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.